Guys, how are we doing today? I am going to be talking to you about double unders. Now I know for many people this is a really frustrating skill. I'm going to break down exactly how I've coached many of my athletes to become comfortable with this movement. Double unders should be a rest movement. If you're in a workout and these are in it, double unders are where you catch your breath, you relax, and you get prepared for harder skills. So if that's not you and you're wanting to make double unders feel easy, then follow what I'm going to say in this video. Hopefully there'll be some new things in here that you haven't heard, and I think you'll be in a much better place for it. If your double unders currently look like this is going to help you. I see videos like this all the time where jumps are looking crazy, athletes are looking really strained, body positions are doing all sorts, athletes are moving around a lot. This skill, when it's not done very well, is exhausting. And I remember when I was learning double unders, I couldn't tell you how difficult I found it, especially as an athlete who can't really jump. I had cuts all at the back of my legs. I had cuts at the back of my arms from my rope. It really was a nightmare. So if this is you, I totally understand the pain and frustration you're in right now, but we're going to fix it. A couple of things just to think about before you start. Girls, you need to be aware of where your hair is, because a lot of the time if you have a bun or you have a high pony, sometimes even with a low pony or a plait, your hair can flick the back of the rope and it can get caught. I've done that so many times. If in doubt, I think a low bun is probably the best thing that you can do. Also, ropes. Double unders is one of those things where your equipment actually does matter. There are some very, very expensive ropes that you definitely don't need to get, but getting a bog standard, really cheap one isn't going to help you out here. You want ideally handles that have ball bearings in, so that when they turn, they feel smooth. Some of the cheaper ropes don't do this, and you can still do double unders with them, but it is tricky. So I would just bear that in mind. Right, where we're going to start is learning how to single skip with the purpose of doing a double under. When athletes send me videos of them trying to do doubles, they often pair the double onto the end of a series of single skips, and the single skips are close to the ground, really, really fast and really quite aggressive. And normally when people single skip, they jump down into the ground, which makes sense because if you are just doing single skips, that's how you do them. However, when we're trying to learn to double, we first of all need to relearn how to single with a double under technique. And then when we actually add the double whip and the timing into it, it becomes much, much easier. So here is what we're going to be thinking about. High jumps is the number one. So instead of doing single under skips where you're pushing down into the floor and you're going really fast, we're going to try and propel off the floor and get as much air time as we can. I'll play this video in a second. I think I'm going really high. Like I said, I'm not very springy. I'm not going that high. Maybe you'll do better. But I'm really trying here to get some height and time off the ground. Toe lift. As your feet leave the mat, I want you to actively lift your toes up. I am doing this in this video. It doesn't look like I am as much as it feels like it. My feet are fairly flat by the eye, but I'm actually really actively lifting my toes, which is important when you're going to add the double turn. So try that. Have your hands in front of your body where you can see them at your periphery. Elbows should be bent and pretty much tucked into your waist, and your hands should be down by your pockets. You should be able to see the lower part of your forearm and your hands the whole time. And you want to have your head, neck, shoulders, and arms relaxed. As soon as people start double, they tense up. And when you tense up, you make the rope shorter. So you want elbows in, hands where you can see them, high jump, lift the toes, and relax the upper body. And these are these things that I've just highlighted here. So toes are up, elbows are in, hands are in front in my periphery, and my upper body is relaxed. Now, some drills. Some of these I'm sure you have seen before. We need to do the drills before we get the skills. The good thing with double unders is there's hardly any drills to do. So it's not going to take you weeks and weeks to work your way through them like it is with some of the gymnastics. The main one is a penguin tap. The timing of the double under is that the double whip happens at the top of the jump. And the action of the double whip when we get there is, imagine you've got two sticks and you're shaking them like this, like a maraca. So, where's my camera? And that or whip whip happens at the top of the jump. So you do that high pogo jump where you're off the floor, and at the very top it's whip whip. And you can practice this with a penguin tap where you double tap the top of your thighs at the top of the jump. And this is a really important timing. You want to get up as high as you can, lift the toes, keep the shoulders relaxed, and at the very top, whip, 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 whip is the timing. Once you've got that, we're going to go single, single, double. So 2 high single jumps, and then on the third one, at the top of the jump, you're going to aim to do your double whip. So we'll just watch this now. So single, double, single, double, single, double. I actually think I did some single doubles rather than doing single, single, double, but you get the idea. You'll find that one of them happens more naturally than the other, and that's okay. Right, once you've got the single, single, double, and you've got that down packed, you understand the timing, you understand the positions, don't just try and do a max set every single time because you'll be exhausted. It's much better with double unders to have targeted reps that you're aiming for. So for example, I get my athletes to do 10 sets of 3. Or 10 sets of 2, 10 sets of single, single, double. Make it as small as you need to so that it's successful and that you know how many reps you achieve within your session in a certain amount of time. Say you were doing 10 sets of 2 and that took you 6 minutes and you had a heap of fails in there, but you know that's what you did. So you achieved 20 reps in total, took you 6 minutes. In your next session, try and do the first 5 sets as 3s and the second 5 sets as 2s. So overall, you're achieving more reps. See how long it takes you. Maybe it takes you slightly less this time. So as you progress, you want the targets to be methodical. So the reps to slightly increase, the time it takes you to successfully achieve them to slowly decrease. Overall, the amount of reps you can do per set in a max set to be getting bigger. So I often get my athletes to start off in a higher volume when they're fresh so that we can keep increasing their max set capacity. But we're not always going to go for a max set because then we end up with huge drop-offs where maybe on the first one you got 12 and then the next one you got 3. Again, it's not ideal. We want something that is predictable and repeatable so that we can methodically build it over time. Hopefully that is making sense. All right, just a little recap then. We want high jump, toes out in front, lift the toes, relax the upper body, elbows in nice and tight to your waist, hands in front, and a double whip at the top of your jump. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you with this and best of luck. If you need any help at all and you want to send me over a little video so that I can give you some advice, you've got my details. It's coach_Briscoe on Instagram. Just send me a message and I'll be very happy to reply. All right, kids. Peace out.